Enough is enough! I have had it!
Why so serious?
And we hold the world ransom for
Wayne Gandy.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Show me.
Broadcasting live from the Armada FM studios in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
You may fill me up, yeah, can you fill me up, yeah. You won't break me down, I've come too far, yeah, I come too far, yeah. So just throw in the towel, it's a new day, I'ma do me, yeah, I'm gonna go all the way. You may build me up.
Welcome. Good morning to you. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. You're listening to the Sports Joc Show. Happy Memorial Day to you. For you that have already got up. Most of you are still drunk from last night because this is the United States of America. And we look for a reason to get drunk, and Big Kenny looks for reasons to get high. And you probably started on Thursday, and you're dragging into Monday. And you're going to call in to work tomorrow because of all your debauchery this weekend. You're going to need to. I'm even fascinated that Ravishing Ray is in the building. You know, he usually calls in after a hard Sunday night. Thank you there, Ravishing Ray, for the clock. I appreciate it. I have something over here some of you will love to know. Sports Joc is 2016 now. Yes, no more flip. This is it's amazing that I've done a lot of great things in my life, but I take pride in upgrading. I waited to upgrade out, Big Kenny. I waited. Case was falling apart. I just kept on going. I've been 6 months just holding it together piece by piece. I just will not give you that extra money until the upgrade is here. They even threw in an iPad mini. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it came with it for the same price as the phone. Go down to Verizon. Should I be going with them or T-Mobile? Maybe I should say all of them. What is the little one that just gets you in? It's always at the mall, but it's only local. What is that one? Metro PCS. Yes. I love when people tell, who you with? Metro PCS. They always say it low. They never take pride in their handler. And ATT. The Sports Joc is here today because of the phone company. My mom worked at GTE. That's what the name of it was for 27 years until that glorious day that the Rams called my name, and then she retired. But gee, that fed me a lot, as you can see. You know, it was bad food, but it was food. But good morning to you. We have Big Kenny in the building, Memorial Day. Before I bring my co-host on, and we got a new bright star. No Botox, no wrinkles either already, but that's because she's young. But I wanted to send a PSA out to you. Any of that mosquito spray that says it stops Zika is lying. The government says that stuff does not work. So all you people who went into the weekend thinking I'm about this Zika bracelet wristband, no, it doesn't work like that. But we'll talk more about that as the show goes on. Chinwe is in the building. Congratulations, just graduated. She was here years ago on the show as an intern, and now she it's great when you don't have to give a person a nickname, because what would I do with Chinwe? You just say Chinwe, and the person's going to say, excuse me, and I'm going to say Chinwe. Well, how do you spell that? Chinwe. Chinwe. And I don't even, Chinwe, have you ever left the country?
I have.
You have?
Well, my mother's South African, so I've been to South Africa 3 times. I've been to Paris. I've been to St. Croix.
For us that's never been to Africa, why do people that go to South Africa always say South Africa as though they gave you a real location? Like, I don't know. Where would that put me? What ransacking village would that put me in?
What do you mean?
Nigeria. Where would that put me being in South Africa? What's the city?
Well, the country of South Africa, there's Johannesburg, and then there's like Mokopane and Swaziland or Cape Town and Durban and all those places. It's not really, it's very industrialized, it's very Europeanized compared to the other countries. So when people speak on South Africa, my mom said that they don't even consider South Africans a part of Africa. And I didn't know that. It was a complete culture shock when I went to Ghana.
Got you.
Complete culture shock.
Well, somebody else that's from the south side or something. It's from the south side of Chicago. Big Kenny's in the building. Big Kenny, if I'm in south side of Chicago, where am I at?
Well, we don't even really consider the south side of Chicago, Chicago. We just consider that. Good morning, Sports Joc. Good morning, Chinwe.
Good morning.
We don't have to have a nickname for Chinwe, but when we say Chinwe, someone should say Gesundheit. Chinwe, Gesundheit.
Why?
Well, I just
Just
we
because?
just got to,
Okay.
just because.
It works for me.
And I would like to dispel the rumor. Sports Joc say that I look for reasons to get high, and I just want to dispel that rumor. Getting high is reason enough. I don't have to have any special kind of, moment. It doesn't have to be Memorial Day.
Do weed users have, like, how alcoholics have that special brandy? You know how on the show they're always waiting, one day I'm going to pop this 1930 brandy or whiskey. Is there something that weed users have that just one day, like they got it already rolled up and it's just in a particular box?
I don't know. I would have to poll them individually.
Oh, my goodness.
But with the advent of legalization in many parts of the United States and the dispensaries that are now across the country in great number, they do have different brands and strains, and they have different effects. Some make you active and want to clean, or some make you very social. Some make you relax, and some athletes have said that they use the indica, which is a what they call a body high, to relax their body so that their muscles can recover. So I would have to, do a survey and some
Yeah, why don't you do a little research?
some research, right?
Are you going to participate?
Well,
Do a little testing?
it's all for science, Chinwe. It's all for science. I'm about gathering
You got to test
data.
the products yourself. That's the only way you really know.
I'm about gathering data. That's all it's about.
And
It's serious journalism.
And you're
man.
willing to be the test subject.
Well, I'm saying sometimes we have to have a first-person account.
I think
Sports
he'd
Joc.
take that burden upon himself.
I will, for science. For science.
In the name of science.
In the name of science, exactly. and Sports Joc, you upgraded, but what is this that we have, this fantastic new piece of technology that you've acquired? What is the name of it?
This is an iPhone 6S.
Ooh.
Yes.
Extra letters.
Yes,
You know when they throw the S on it, that means something. That's for serious. The iPhone 6 serious.
It's just a larger size iPhone 6.
Basically.
Same technology, just a bigger. As you get older, your eyes get a little weaker. So now they make it so
That's
you can see
incredibly
into
smart.
the future. It's so small. It's so big.
What happened when a couple of years ago iPhone made the iPhones larger, and then they said that a lot of customers did not appreciate that, so they retrofitted them back to the smaller, and now they're going larger again? Do they even know what they want to do?
They've got both phones. So you
Okay.
can now, the iPhone 5 is back for sale. So you can get the iPhone 5 or you can get the larger phones also.
And for the iPad Mini that you got with that, we have a new contest. Win an iPad Mini on the Sports Joc Show. Chinwe, are you an upgrader? Are you one of those people that every time a new version comes out, you get it?
No. I didn't get an iPad for a long time because I was afraid of the upgrades, actually, and I didn't want to deal with that, being left out of that Apple loop.
Yeah, I made sure he walked me through the whole, because I'm always skeptical with you can get this with it too. And I'm like, well, is my bill going to change? No. Well, if you get this one, then it's like, no, I want whatever will keep the bill the same.
The exact same.
That's all I want.
I thought it was interesting that my brand of phone, and I won't say what it is. Android. No, I'm just kidding. I have an Android, and they upgraded to the new version, and everybody ran out and got one. And then they sent me the software for the new version to my old phone. So it started doing everything that everyone's new phone did without the extra price. So
Yeah, I think they do that with those electronic cars, I think, as well. They send the data out, Tesla, and
Oh, wow.
even though your car might be older, they always keep sending
the new data.
to it.
You can upgrade a car, install new software on a car. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
upgrade. Wasn't that a song? Upgrade.
Beyonce.
What was it? Yeah, we knew you'd know. We knew you'd know.
Well, Jay-Z is on the song too.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I heard a rumor they're getting a divorce. Was that
No,
rumor
they
true?
never believe any rumors about
Okay.
Jay-Z and Beyonce. Never.
Okay.
It's never true.
Because they're not even real people. They're just
Oh, no, they're
holograms.
figures of our
Yeah,
imagination.
They're holograms that we put together for marketing
They
purposes.
don't actually exist.
No.
Well, for you Atlanta people, I know you're getting ready. 3 years away. The Super Bowl will be coming to Atlanta. We have to suffer before that because it's in Minnesota the year before that, which I have no idea how you figured February 3rd in Minnesota was a good idea for anything but ice fishing. But the Super Bowl will be there first, and then it's going to Atlanta.
And whoever sold the Super Bowl for Minnesota, let's get them on our marketing team because those are some genius people. Hey, where could we have the Super Bowl? How about Minnesota? Now, hear me out. Can't you see that pitch? Just listen to me. Follow me now. I know it's going to be 32 below zero with the wind chill factor 75 below, but Prince just died. And we could have a whole purple theme, and everybody was like, yeah, purple theme. Okay.
They forgot all about the code. All about it.
But when we come back from break, we're going to talk a little NBA playoffs. Baylor fired their head coach after he turned the program around, and much more coming up. And we got Chinwe coming in with what we like to call ratchet news.
Oh, yes. I've got all of the ratchet news.
All the ratchet news.
Straight from the streets.
Straight from the street.
Yeah.
And you sound so gutter. You know what I mean? I can believe that you straight from the hood.
Sounds like
You never know.
St. Charles Place and 34th Street somewhere.
The hood of South Africa, where it's quite industrialized.
Well, you know, they drive by with them bow and arrows. They still shoot bow and arrows in South Africa? Them dark guns?
Not to my knowledge.
Oh, okay.
Not to my knowledge.
Break yourself, fool.
404-603-8770. Give us a call, WWE AM 1100. We'll be right back after this.
I'm seeing the pain, seeing the pleasure. Nobody but you, body but me, body but us, bodies together. I love to hold you close tonight and always. I love to wake up next to you.
More of the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You accidentally cut your daughter's bangs unevenly. Do you A, line things up a centimeter from her hairline?
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
No. Sweatbands are so hot right now. Everyone's wearing them. Like that basketball player and that other basketball player.
B, get spiritual.
Mom, where did all the mirrors go?
A reflection could never capture our true selves.
Huh?
Beauty is within.
C, look on the bright side.
Less time blow drying, more time texting.
Or D, show empathy.
Mom, you really don't have
Ta-da! Twinsies.
I kinda love it. As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jason Derulo, and I love the fact that music connects to people all over the country. But unfortunately, so does something else: childhood hunger. 15 million children struggle with hunger in America. However, the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is able to help provide over 3 billion meals to children and families in need all across the country. Join me in the fight against hunger at feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America. A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. This cat makes me make art. He's always motivating me to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. He's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Keyboard Cat, YouTube star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Start yours today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
My savings are gone.
Okay, where were they last?
Here, right before I spent them on that vacation to Aruba.
Weird. Not weird. Not saving now means no money later. For free ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jason Derulo, and I love the fact that music connects to people all over the country. But unfortunately, so does something else: childhood hunger. 15 million children struggle with hunger in America. However, the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is able to help provide over 3 billion meals to children and families in need all across the country. Join me in the fight against hunger at feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America. A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Dad? Son, come home with me.
Visit the secret panda village?
Sleep like a panda. Eat like a panda.
I knew I wasn't eating up to my potential.
It's not always easy being a dad, but it's always worth it.
Let me teach you how to belly golf.
Awesome! Take time to be a dad today.
Thanks, Dad.
Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Center Court. On sports, news, gossip, blah, 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 blah.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. We're almost there, people. I know. It's been a long, long time. It takes like forever to get to the NBA Finals, but it's on the horizon. We are almost there, but probably one of the biggest stories that we need to touch on today, the All-NBA team. All-NBA, not an all-star team, which happens at the middle of the season, but the All-NBA teams were announced last week. And somebody that was missed on the list, well, let me go down the list first. On the first team, a lot of the usual suspects: LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Steph Curry was on the first team, DeAndre Jordan. They don't really like to put big men on this team, and Russell Westbrook, and I think nobody can necessarily knock those guys for first team. On the second team, Draymond Green, Kevin Durant, DeMarcus Cousins, Damian Lillard, and DeMarcus Cousins and Chris Paul. We'll talk to Chinway a little later about Damian Lillard, talking about he's about to drop a rap album. Some of the big time rappers are saying they're going to get on and guest star on his album as well. Third team, Paul George, LaMarcus Aldridge, Andre Drummond, Klay Thompson, and Kyle Lowry. The name that was missed, that a lot of us have come to know and really respect his game, is the power forward / center for the New Orleans Pelicans, the unibrow, Anthony Davis, by not being selected to one of those three teams. Now listen to this. This is not a misprint. He missed out on an additional $24 million. So I read you 15 names. All NBA team is broken up 5 per. That's 3 lists, 3 teams. I think most of us are shocked when we don't see him on the list, but this year he's had his different issues injury-wise. Big Kenny Chinway, by not being selected, $24 million has been erased off of his contract. I'm going to go with you first, Big Kenny. You're sitting home, you're Anthony Davis, you on your big $400 million couch watching your $100 million TV.
Brushing your unibrow.
And your agent calls and your AD. Man, they ain't vote you for the All-NBA. You know what that mean, right?
What that mean, agent? Because they never keep up with the details. He just, what that mean, agent?
That in your contract, that clause of making All NBA did not register. The $24 million, so you won't be getting that.
And that's when you get educated. Wait, so you're saying the disbursement that they had contractually obligated themselves to, if I were to make the All-NBA team, is now void?
It is now null and void.
I will not be getting those monies?
You will not be getting the $24 million.
That messed up, agent. This is what I need to ask. The All-NBA team, the All-Star team, they select that team. They generally have how many teams? The first team,
the All-Star, they just have the East and the West.
The East and the West. So
and it's like 15 people on each team.
On each team. And then they actually play a game, a contest. The All-NBA team, will there be some sort of competition between these three? They just get selected as those who we deem the top 3 tiers of the NBA.
Right.
Now, is this like All-Star games where the reporters vote, the players vote? How are they selected for these teams?
Coaches and owners and media. No player vote.
Okay, coaches, owners, and media. So all of the Pelicans coaches were instructed by the owners to tell the media that covers the Pelicans, if you vote for Anthony Davis, you will not be getting a story from us. You as a coach will be fired, and I'm the owner, so I'm trying to save $24 million.
Mr. Benson, who owns my former employer, who owns the Saints, he owns the Pelicans now. I don't know if y'all been keeping up. Last year, his daughter and his grandkids tried to deem him basically mentally incompetent. He lost the case. I mean, he won the case, and now he is writing all of them out of the wheel.
Right.
He's leaving them nothing of what he has. And he said his response when they asked him, he said, well, they tried to deem me crazy. I thought it was a simple, honest answer. You know, you wanted something. I didn't want to give it to you. You take me to court
to say that
at my elderly age to convince me I'm crazy. So now that I have all the power, what I cannot give you, I'm not going to give you.
And I'm going to keep $24 million of Anthony Davis's dollars just so you cannot get more.
So he owns the Pelicans as well as the Saints.
Yes. When a couple of years, he only owned the Saints at first, and about 4 or 5 years ago, he bought the Pelicans. This is when they was thinking the Pelicans were going to lead. This is when they were actually still the New Orleans Hornets. Once he bought the team, he decided to change the name to the Pelicans, which I want, and I believe at some point in the early 1900s was a Negro League baseball team called the Pelicans, and that's what he gave the homage to them. And then Michael Jordan.
That's why they tried
How
to
could
have.
you take someone like that to court?
That's how they tried to. That's why they tried to declare him mentally incompetent, because he's paying homage to the Negro League. This Louisiana, how dare you pay homage to the Negro Baseball League? Let me ask you this: most of the armchair basketball fan, the armchair sports fan, has always been given the information that NBA contracts are guaranteed. I didn't know that they had clauses in there, like if you don't make it. I mean, like in football, I've been aware that if you make the All-Star game, if you go to the Super Bowl, then you get additional bonuses. I didn't know that they could be withheld if you don't make it.
Yeah, you have detractors and escalators in your contract based on how you had it written out. Most times it is something more or less that you feel like you can gain. And a healthy unibrow would make one of these 3 teams. Well, he is definitely, a top 10 player, but he was in and out of the lineup a lot this year. And I'm quite sure, because as an agent and a player, you're going to only write things that are plausible. You're not going to be putting things on like, I'm going to score 90 points in a game. Well, no, we might not want to put that in there.
He's going to recite the preamble without looking at the paper. Whoa, hold on. I got a family to feed.
So was he injured at all during the season? Is that why he was in and out, or did he just...
No, he was injured.
Okay.
I know there was at least 2 times where he might have missed like 3 weeks of games at a time. And I think that's what you cannot factor in is injury.
Well, even with those injuries, how did his stats stack up against people in his position over the course of the season, because if he missed 3 weeks and was only 2 assists and 3 points and 4 rebounds short of the guy ahead of him, then still I think that would count for something.
Well, they do count longevity in.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not reliable, though.
Yeah.
You know, if you're sitting out of the game for 3 weeks.
If you play, you know, we talked about that with Steve, about Steve Kerr winning Coach of the Year.
Right.
Well, he only coached 39 of the games. Not Bill Walton, Bill Walton's son, coached the other half, and he won just as many games as Steve Kerr won, but they gave Steve Kerr the Coach of the Year, and if you watch the ceremony, you saw him tell Luke Walton to come out and accept the trophy with him, which I thought was a classy move.
Very classy.
And now Luke Walton has been hired to be the Lakers coach. But I think, Anthony, to answer your question, Big Kenny, his numbers were up there. But I would imagine, and this is just off the cuff, out of the 82 games, he might have participated in 50, which is a lot of games.
And so his missing $24 million brings his earnings to what now? Drops it to what?
Well, you're talking about over the course of his contract, instead of making, say, $22 million a year, he's probably dropped down to 18.
Oh, ooh. Oh, how tragic. My goodness.
Change of lifestyle, totally.
Oh, he's going to have to go from a
Readjustment.
$400 million couch to a $398 million couch now. Who can live on that kind of money,
Life-altering.
Sports Joc?
Life-altering.
I
$18 million a year? How dare the Pelicans?
That might have been his retirement fund. Maybe he was thinking, you know what, I'm going to blow all this.
Right.
I got that $24 million, though.
I'm gonna blow this $140 million, but that last $24 million from the All NBA bonus,
Right.
I'm gonna sit on that.
I'm going to say that.
Right,
And
right.
Let it build up. So, Unibrow. Real quickly, Chinwei,
Unibrow.
you're old enough, actually. You and Anthony Davis are about the same age.
I saw him play once at LSU.
Oh, I bet.
He came to play LSU. No, not like that.
Okay. You know you British women love hairy men.
No.
We'll be back. We'll be back 404-603-8770 with more of the Sports Joc Show. Cam Newton. Cam Newton has a Nickelodeon show coming out. We'll talk about that. Yes, Cam Newton.
Because he's such a role model.
And a Nickelodeon show. That and much more coming up after this break.
More of the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. You know, I help people solve difficult problems every day, but one problem has me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. Luckily, the Feeding America network of local food banks collects surplus food, giving hope to hungry children and their families. But they need your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hi, Mom. Is Claire's birthday party today? Me again, Mom. Where did I put my history book? Hi. Sorry, forgot one last thing. Sometimes it's hard to concentrate. At school, I start looking out the window, and then I forget what I was supposed to be thinking about. I know it seems like I don't care, but I do. It's just difficult for me. Love you, Mom. Bye.
Join parents and experts at Understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive. Brought to you by Understood.org and the Ad Council.
This is the sound of salmonella gyrating on your undercooked chicken. And it looks like Mom might be taking it out a little early. Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. So use a thermometer to cook each type of meat to the right temperature. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Alvin and the Chipmunks love to eat.
Who's hungry?
But even though you can't see or smell it, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
That's not good.
On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps.
We got this. This'll be a walk in the park.
Clean. Wash your hands and surfaces often.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Separate. Keep raw meats, poultry, and seafood separate from ready-to-eat foods.
Watch and learn, my friends.
Cook. Make sure an adult uses a thermometer to cook meat, poultry, and seafood to the right temperature.
Fire in the hole!
And chill. Refrigerate promptly and pack your lunch with a freezer pack or ice.
Bingo! Dinner! She's a serve! Yay!
Keep your family safe and check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
And now, back to the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy.
They're like a distant uncle, meaning that other than football, you do have my number to call me, but I'm not the Overwatch. And how Art, the head coach, Browse, was supposed to know that he had potentially, 2 guys convicted of rape and 2 others allegation, I don't know how that works. I don't know if there's a rape measurement that's out there. Maybe, Kenny, do you know something? I can.
Why would you ask me? Why would you
Great
come up?
answer.
Yeah, why would you come
Great
up with a situation of sexual assault? Big Kenny, how does that work? Hey, look at me, brother. I've never had to go there. Thank you very much.
So typically throughout, children's lives, and especially in high school, they're really tight-knit with their coaches.
Yes.
So I guess there's that disconnect when they do get to college, because I didn't know that the head coaches aren't really that involved.
Do you think part of the perception that the head coach is super involved is that on many of these recruiting trips, it is the head coach who comes to, if you're a top-tier 5-star recruit,
yes,
a lot of times the head coach will come actually to your mother's house and say, I want this child to play for me. So people think, well, if he would come to your mother's house, then obviously he's got to be holding your hand all the way through the football process.
And he usually comes to close the deal.
Right.
You're usually dealing with the recruiting coordinator and the assistant coaches. Those are the people, especially they usually send the position coach of your position.
Right.
To come close the deal is when I bring the head coach.
So is he like a mini celebrity amongst the football players and the head coach, assistant coaches? And
no, he's a regular guy, but he's not around as much to affect you on a personal level on your day-to-day activity. He's not around. He doesn't even live. They act like we all live in the same neighborhood. No, I live here with all my problems, and Coach lives wherever. And maybe once, twice in your time there, based on how good you might be, or he might have his annual barbecue out at the farm. You might see where he stays, but you're not that tight like that with a coach. For him to have my head coach in Auburn did have an effect on me. By the way he coached me, by the way he handled the team. If he said we were going to do this, this is what we did. So he stuck to his word, but it wasn't like we were palling around playing checkers to where he would know if I was going to do something to you tonight, or my mentality even dealing with women, or even if I was a homosexual or not. He's not in that. He'll know the same time that the coach or the police knows.
But they just take all of the heat.
They just take all the heat.
And I'm saying, is it a byproduct of being the leader? We've seen there's a mishap at an embassy in a foreign country, and the president steps to the podium and says, I take responsibility for this. We've seen the governor of New Jersey, when that whole bridge debacle came down, he became the one taking responsibility? Is it not the coach's responsibility as a leader?
We'll come back after the break, 404-603-8770, and finish this up and talk a little Ray Rice back in the media as well.
Heard about that
Let
too.
me go! Let me go!
Let me go. It's about to go down. It's about to go.
More of the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
Hey, Russell Wilson here, and I know how important exercise is.
It's essential. It's essential.
With Play 60, United Way and the NFL are helping kids stay active and play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids. Healthy kids.
But what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60 because great things happen when we live united.
Donate.
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Rich is just a really, really, really good guy. The term good egg isn't enough to describe him. He's also certified organic and free range. Rich puts the cap back on everything. The toothpaste, the olive oil, the shampoo, everything. He lets his 10-year-old nephew beat him at virtual tennis, even though he can straight up slay his 10-year-old nephew in virtual tennis. When the toilet paper is running low, Rich replaces the roll on the actual holder, not just on the back of the toilet. Rich is texting and driving. Rich, no. What are you doing, Rich? I was just telling everyone how great you are. Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You accidentally cut your daughter's bangs unevenly. Do you A, line things up a centimeter from her hairline?
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
No. Sweatbands are so hot right now. Everyone's wearing them. Like that basketball player and that other basketball player.
B, get spiritual.
Mom, where did all the mirrors go?
A reflection could never capture our true selves.
Huh?
Beauty is within.
C, look on the bright side.
Less time blow drying, more time texting.
Or D, show empathy.
Mom, you really don't have
Ta-da! Twinsies!
I kinda love it. As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Dad, this is fun. I didn't think I liked kayaking.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I think it's time to head back in.
Okay. Can we come back?
Sure. Hey, be careful getting out of the boat.
It's a kayak, Dad.
I'm gonna return the kayak.
Can we walk home?
How about a taxi?
It's a short fare from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words. Playing world music.
What? I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Dad? Son, come home with me.
Visit the secret panda village?
Sleep like a panda. Eat like a panda.
I knew I wasn't eating up to my potential.
It's not always easy being a dad, but it's always worth it.
Let me teach you how to belly gong.
Awesome!
Take time to be a dad today.
Thanks, Dad.
Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hi, Mom. Is Claire's birthday party today? Me again, Mom. Where did I put my history book? Hi, sorry, forgot one last thing. Sometimes it's hard to concentrate. At school, I start looking out the window, and then I forget what I was supposed to be thinking about. I know it seems like I don't care, but I do. It's just difficult for me. Love you, Mom. Bye.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive. Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Now, it's time to present the Joc of the Week on the Sports Joc Show, where we highlight an exceptional athlete that has taken their game to the next level.
It's Wayne Gandy. It's Wayne Gandy.
Log on so you can see the Sports Joc, even Big Kenny.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy, sitting here with Chinwei, our colorful and beautiful Brit.
Thank you. I love that song.
Like-
It's Wayne Gandy.
That was before your time, though.
It's a nice, I like Candy.
Okay.
I'm here for all of the old school music.
And Big Kenny, the funny man himself, we love talking about Art Browse, the former head coach of Baylor, now being dismissed. The president got moved down to the chancellor. They're looking for a new AD who says he's going to stay on the job until he finds a head coach.
So they're just throwing everybody under the bus,
yes.
but the people responsible for the scandal.
Except for the people, they're saying that the whole Baylor administration just was not addressing these issues fast enough, quick enough, and kind of giving a lot of leeway to the player. I would imagine so, just like a parent might give a little more leeway to his child before he convicts him. Now, right, wrong, should Art go out or not? It's not really what I'm here trying to get people to understand. I'm trying to get parents to understand. Dropping your kid off at college does not alleviate you from continuing trying to have that effect in your child's life of leadership and mentoring. That is not going on like that at these colleges. It never was like that. Even when coaches could be more infused in a kid's life, it was someone to go talk to. But until you went to have that conversation with that coach, he didn't know that part about you. And usually you get that maybe your third, fourth year when you've been around long enough to have enough conversations. And they have their little spies out. You know, they send, to try to gather information, bring little tidbits. But after a couple of times, we figure out who that person is.
In the dorm, they call it the snitch.
Yeah, we figure out who the snitch is, and he doesn't get invited to certain things. I mean, Tim Cromartie was a defensive tackle from Tallahassee, and we knew he was the snitch. We knew, so we didn't invite him.
You can't just call his name out like that.
You have to identify the bus man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness.
If this dude is telling that's the problem. That's why they thrive, is because nobody's willing to expose them.
Wow.
What do you mean I can't tell his name?
You just threw it out there.
Tim Cromartie, Tallahassee, Florida.
And now whoever he's having breakfast with is looking at him like,
just drop that fork.
We've been talking too much around you.
Yeah,
but he needs to be exposed, because I think it's one thing to have somebody who works for administration or who works for an outside entity to come and try and find out some information on you, but to be inside the program. In the streets, we call that the rat. Somebody who comes, like a Judas. You come to me under the guise of friendship and brotherhood, and then all of a sudden you're working against me. I don't think that that's cool. But let me ask you a question, Sports Joc. Now, some of what I heard about the Baylor situation wasn't that they were just waiting to see how these things turned out before they condemned the player. There were allegations that they were actually blocking some of these investigations. And that's a different thing.
Yes.
If you block an investigation outside of the college sports arena, that is impeding an investigation, and that's punishable by incarceration.
Correct. And I think
So,
that possibly I
interfering with
I
an
would
investigation.
imagine it possibly could be that wholeheartedly. That's what I'm saying. The whole thing from the police, because you shouldn't be taking orders from the Baylor football team
Anyway,
if somebody in a case like that. So I'm addressing that part where people think that you can put a head coach in place that is going to change your defensive end or your running back and what they're going to do to a woman. That's the part I'm talking about.
Or to another football player, or
criminally.
We did a story last week where the Alabama players were suspended
Cam
because
Robinson.
they were caught using marijuana, and one of them had a firearm, a handgun. So these are, and one of the things that I think is interesting is that a lot of these college athletes have reached the age of consent, but they refer to them as children. And some of them, a great many of them, are grown men legally, physically, and in any other way we would gauge what a man is. But when they get in trouble, you want to defer to the person who is supposed to be the coach for their actions. So when do they start holding the players accountable for what they do?
And that is my sentiment, and that's what I'm trying to make sure we understand, that the culture of the athlete, as we have reported, it used to be like this line that was drawn between the athlete and the criminal. It was a time where the criminal wouldn't even let the athlete be criminal. You know, basketball or football is going to get you out of here. You don't need to come over here and do this with us. It used to be a little line in there for that. Now these guys that are playing these sports are coming here criminal. Like I said, you don't just start armed robbery on a scholarship. You just wasn't sitting around your free apartment.
Right.
Like, you know what?
Was it in Indiana or one of the Illinois schools where the gentleman was accused? He was allegedly gun running and drug dealing, and those aren't rookie entry-level crimes.
I'm playing football.
Yes,
and playing football.
How do you
on
even have
scholarship.
time for all of that?
Well, I actually knew a guy in college who was connected to a major drug ring in the region, but it was something that he had been doing for years before he got to the college level. And many times with these criminal organizations, they will recruit someone with talent. They will recruit someone with great academic ability and send them to college, paying a lot of their expenses, making sure they offset some of the costs, because once this athlete goes pro, they wash a lot of money through this athlete, because now he's a millionaire, so we can launder money through him all day. Now we can send somebody to college and he can become a lawyer. But he knows, of course, he knows all of the criminal activity, but now he knows how to get us out of these cases too.
Recently here in Atlanta, they found like 3 or 4 of the Atlanta Police Department were gang members. And the gang had put basically in that position to be able to survey. And that's my whole thing with the college athlete, like you saying. When it starts being certain crimes, especially when it comes to guns and drugs, these kids probably were doing this before they got there. Now, some stuff is just stupidity. When you be hearing about this guy went over there and stole somebody's
laptop,
Amex card, and went to the candy machine, that's just stupidity. But you know,
but like drug trafficking, gun running, these are crimes that come up under indictment.
Right.
And indictment means that they sit back and they watch you for sometimes years before they bring the case against you. So this is not
So in that time, you can go to the...
This is not an impulsive crime. This is not an act of impulse. This is something that you're actively involved in, takes planning, takes orchestration. And so these crimes aren't, these cases at Baylor were sexual assault cases, and some of those have been, they've tried to excuse them because of rampant alcohol and drug use on college campuses. Right. But some of these other crimes, like you say, the gun running and the drug trafficking, that's not, you know what? I got some free time on my hands.
Because you need to connect to get into those things.
Oh, yeah.
True.
We have a call on the line. Good morning to you, caller.
Hey, Sports Joc. Hey, you've got a great show, man. It's my first time calling in. I just got a question for you. With the whole Baylor situation going on in the college ranks, in the pro ranks, do you think that goes to a different level, or is it better? What's your feeling on that? Because, you know, I'm thinking if these things are going on in college, it must take a whole nother level when you get to the pro level. Do you think the same things are going on pretty much with the cover-up ideas and those kind of things, really depending on who the player is?
That's a good question. I will tell you that you actually get more protection in college. In the pros, they see it as a business. The owner sees you as a commodity for real because he's giving you a real paycheck. And when it comes to certain things, he's not going, the organization is not going to go to bat for you. Now, if anything, you might get failed drug tests, things like that. If you're ever sitting around trying to figure out that you saw a certain player smoking this and that and never got caught, they might cover that up because they're in them making money. So, hey, do I really want to sit Tom Brady on the sideline for smoking weed? Nah, I'm going to cover up as much as I can. But if Tom Brady goes and does something to Giselle, as we saw in the case of Ray Rice, they will get you gone. They will put you out and won't let you back in because they act like Ray Rice. He might not have been a starter, but he could have definitely been a solid backup, even here in Atlanta or anywhere. So I think colleges try to help with that kind of stuff because they don't have a lot of information. And people want to put them in a situation where they really think this college has a day-to-day idea of what their athlete is doing, and especially in the January to June months. I might not even I see the weight coach, the strength and conditioning people, the trainers. I might see the guy that's coaching me once a week in that time of period. So I just want to make sure parents and everyone else understand that we still have to play an active role in trying to guide these kids to stay away from those type of problems. And it's not like get out the car for kindergarten and I'll be back at 3 o'clock. We'll be back. More of the Sports Joc Show. Thank you for that question there, caller. 404-603-8770.
More of the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You've accidentally cut your daughter's bangs unevenly. Do you A, line things up a centimeter from her hairline?
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
No. Sweatbands are so hot right now. Everyone's wearing them. Like that basketball player and that other basketball player.
B, get spiritual.
Mom, where did all the mirrors go?
A reflection could never capture our true selves.
Huh?
Beauty is within.
C, look on the bright side.
Less time blow drying, more time texting.
Or D, show empathy.
Mom, you really don't have
Ta-da! Twinsies!
I kinda love it. As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the sound of salmonella gyrating on your undercooked chicken. And it looks like Mom might be taking it out a little early. Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. So use a thermometer to cook each type of meat to the right temperature. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Whoa! Let's get crazy!
In movies, when someone at a party jumps into a pool fully dressed, everyone cheers them on and jumps in too. Just so you know, in real life parties, nobody jumps in after you. You just look stupid.
Come on, jump in! Come on!
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It only takes a minute to find out if you may have prediabetes, and you can do it at doihaveprediabetes.org. But you're probably not going to, are you? Kids, work, listening to the radio. You're busy, which is great because busy people can't get prediabetes. Oh my, I read that wrong. They can. Should have worn my glasses. So visit doihaveprediabetes.org and take a short test because prediabetes can be reversed.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story, adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jason Derulo, and I love the fact that music connects to people all over the country. But unfortunately, so does something else: childhood hunger. 15 million children struggle with hunger in America. However, the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is able to help provide over 3 billion meals to children and families in need all across the country. Join me in the fight against hunger at feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America. A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearms storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
Enough is enough! I have had it!
Why so serious?
And we hold the world ransom for
Wayne Gandy.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Show me.
Broadcasting live from the Armada FM studios in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
You may build me up, yeah, can you build me up, yeah. You won't break me down, I've come too far, yeah, I've come too far, yeah. So just throw in the towel, it's a new day, I'ma do it, yeah, I'm gonna go all the way. You may build me up.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy, sitting here with the funny man himself, Big Kenny, and our new star on the show, Chin Wei. She can't wait to get around to give us some of that ratchet news that'll be coming up this hour. We left the last hour talking about head coach Art Browse getting fired from Baylor after bringing him back to prominence. He actually still had 8 years left on his contract. Somewhere he was making between $4 to $6 million a year. We do not know how they have handled that. He might have taken one for the team, and they might give him a nice little chop of that money. Sometimes you never know what kind of backdoor dealing these teams have going on with their coaches. Speaking of someone who's kind of came back a little bit in the public eye, Ray Rice and his wife, who's pregnant, Janae Rice, visited the Baltimore Ravens facility. So I think it has been the first time in almost 2 years that they have been back. Ray Rice, if you don't know, back in 2014, hit his wife at a casino, which sent off record-breaking numbers in the United States of America about domestic violence, made him the poster child. The crucifixion came as though he was the only man, the first and only man that had ever touched a woman, gave everybody all the ammo they needed to start different campaigns. The Ravens would not let him play in 2014. He has not been picked up at this point. They did have to give him about $1.6 million in a buyout. Long story short, they brought him back to speak to this year's rookies with the Ravens. The owner, Steve Biscotti, brought him back to speak to the rookies about his hardship. Since then, Ray Rice did help Baltimore to win a Super Bowl. He was their top running back for about 5 years. And about 2 or 3 of those, you could argue that he was the best running back in the NFL. Big Kenny, Chinway, Ray Rice back speaking to the rookies. Do you think these efforts might get him a look to come back and play this year?
I want to hear what he actually said. Well, I'd like to hear what he actually said to them, to be honest. And my friend said a while back that if his wife doesn't care and she allows, maybe I shouldn't say allow, if she didn't leave him, then why should he be out of a job? And I felt, I didn't really agree with that, but she does have a point. And so, he does have to eat. And does he have a degree?
I don't know it's that far into his life.
Okay, well,
let me ask you this question. So any man that hits a woman should lose his job? Because you just made a hiss as though him losing his job was correct.
You did say you didn't agree with it.
You didn't agree with it. So any man that hits a woman should lose his job.
I think that there should be repercussions. I don't know about losing your job, though.
There were
not in this day and
there
age.
were repercussions. He was arrested. He went to court. It was adjudicated. The judge handed down a sentence. He served that time. He paid his fines. He did his anger management. The NFL imposed their punishment after the legal punishment was made. Now, we're talking about people's personal lives, as you said. Now, we don't know how the Rices get down behind closed doors.
Well, we do now.
But this could be something. It is always my contention that if there is a domestic violence incident in a public place of that violent nature, that severe, he literally knocked her out in an elevator. Once you are willing to do stuff like that in public, you are comfortable with those actions. This is not a first-time incident, because first-timers don't decide to commit domestic violence, especially if you're that high profile in a public place. They're in a casino.
Right.
I mean, it's not like they're in a forest preserve somewhere hiding out. These people are arguing and getting physical with one another in public. So this is just a knee-jerk reaction because they're comfortable with it. It's their culture.
That's how they communicate.
That's how they communicate.
It's their language.
So if she's willing to communicate with him on that level, why should anyone else want more for her than she wants for herself?
So back to my original question. Should every man or every woman strike their partner? Should they lose their job?
No.
Okay.
No.
I just wondered because you did say he should lose the job, and
At first, I thought that. That was my immediate reaction.
Uh-huh.
But upon
But then I said, change your mind before I smack you.
No, I mean, I don't. People have to eat. You have to eat.
Right, and that's why I asked you that, is because so many people, their last real connection to sports is high school, and they want professional sports to almost be managed as though people are still in high school. Just like you, Kenny is a professional comedian. You will grow up to be a profession in your world. Football is my profession. I have a PhD. I always tell people, I went to Auburn. I have a bachelor's degree in finance. I left with a PhD in football, and I left with a minor in training. Because I can train you to do anything. I just need to go get a certificate. There's no type of training physically I couldn't train you to do. So I left there with 3 degrees, really, in a sense. But you want me not to be a football player as though I'm a doctor. You don't ask him. He still gets to do surgery, unless he botches up a surgery.
Well, what about the celebrity aspect of that, though?
The celebrity aspect.
Okay.
Because,
what about
because there are a lot of NFL players that are pretty low key,
Uh-huh.
like yourself. You know what I mean? You're not really up for the glitz and the glamour.
Mm-hmm.
But for someone who's kind of, in a sense, a spectacle, kind of. I mean, he's...
I'm asking, what is the question? Because of his higher profile?
Does being an athlete automatically make you a celebrity? And then does that make it okay for your life to be a stage and thus bleed from your personal to your professional?
Even if his personal life, as it was, is plastered all over the screen and the airwaves, that's not the question. The question is, should he still be allowed to make a living? That is his livelihood. That's how he supports the wife that he's accused or that he was found guilty of domestically abusing.
And the second child.
And the second child. That's how they eat. So because I'm guilty of a crime, there are a lot of people that we have, politicians, people who make the laws of our country, who have committed serious crimes, and no one has kicked them out of politics. Marion Barry, the former 2-time mayor of Washington, D.C., was caught smoking crack cocaine, got arrested, and then went back and became the mayor of Washington, D.C. again. So if we don't hold the people who make our laws to a higher standard, why should our athletes? They're just entertainers.
But that's kind of what the Sports Joc was saying
Exactly.
earlier about how they're royalty now, and they're even at a higher status than the movie stars and the actual celebrities. So
and all of those people are allowed to continue making a living. Look at
Chris Brown.
Right.
Don't he have an album?
Look at Chris Brown.
Several.
He's still touring. Look at Charlie Sheen. He's still making movies.
True.
He's still
True.
on television. Sports Joc, just to backpedal a little bit, the Baylor coach, you said he got fired and they owed him about 8 more years on his contract.
He had 8 years left.
He had 8 years left. Now, when we did the story on the female coach that got fired for violating Title IX, they had to pay her.
Yes.
If you get fired, do they still have to pay you, or are there certain clauses that can prevent you from getting your pay? A la
if they fire
Anthony
you,
Davis.
basically they put you in a situation where they have to pay you.
Right.
They don't have to pay you, or they can buy you out. So you can say, okay, give me 6 of the 8 years. But once they fire you, they put themselves where they would have to prove your negligence. And a lot of times that has to be proven in the actual sport. Like I have to go out and prove you did something on the field, or you bet on a game or something like that. Not something in the coach Baylor Browse at school. It's going to be tough for them to prove his negligence, because it sounds like it was a full chain of command to me. Like it was a whole command of people going along and just messing up the whole thing down in Baylor. So Big Kenny, he should get a nice little severance package.
Of course.
Here coming up.
Of course.
I would imagine that $24 million that Anthony Davis didn't get.
They're filtering over to him. Look, give us just $9 million of that, and you still have some left over.
All right, we'll be back. More of the Sports Joc Show right after this.
the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
It only takes a minute to find out if you may have prediabetes, and you can do it at doihaveprediabetes.org. But you're probably not going to, are you? Kids, work, listening to the radio. You're busy, which is great because busy people can't get prediabetes. Oh my, I read that wrong. They can. Should have worn my glasses. So visit doihaveprediabetes.org and take a short test because prediabetes can be reversed.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words. Playing world music. What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Okay, Sarah, I'm dropping you at Emily's, and Josh, you're going to soccer, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, and by the way, when I pick you up, I'll be wearing my short shorts.
What? No!
Yep, me and my short shorts doing my daddy dance. Your friends will love it.
No!
Well, I might change my mind if you buckle your seatbelts.
Okay, we're buckling up.
See, all buckled.
Whatever it takes, keep them safe. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use, like, anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's time for the scoreboard, where we put a spin on life and sports and how they intermingle. On the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. We are moving right along. We are in the scoreboard today. We have a great scoreboard for you. We're going to let the young 22-year-old, a lot of energy. You remember when you were 22, right? Or you might be 22 today. But for some of us, to be able to get 1 year of being 22 back would just be a great. They sell a lot of pills out there trying to get men back to 22. They can get you about 6 months younger, but they never take you back that much in time. But Chinwei.
Gesundheit.
I heard a phrase that youth is wasted on the young.
Youth is wasted on the young.
Yes. Is that accurate?
Well, I think a lot of people feel that way because of the way the youth squander the young squander their youth.
Well, not if you died in over in Germany fighting a war. I don't know if you squandered your youth. You tried to make a difference with it.
I'm saying there are a lot of bad decisions that they make. They are, for instance, there are a lot of young people now living with their parents after graduating college, and you're not living, because if you're in your parents' house, the way I was raised, if you're in your parents' house, you live by your parents' rules.
Yes.
So who wants to waste their 20s having to come in before the street lights come on?
Exactly.
So
great point. Okay, so no one saw this coming, but Gucci Mane is allegedly, supposedly, reportedly a free man walking the streets of Atlanta once again.
Burr.
Super Burr.
Does he still have the ice cream on his cheek? Or
Yes,
Come
but
on, why don't you
he
ask
did
me
lose the
myself?
gut.
Why don't you ask me? This Gucci. Gucci on the
How many
streets.
sit-ups that you do every day?
Sit up, what that is. I too icy. I Gucci Burr.
Well, he came out of the Indiana penitentiary with a six-pack. He looks really, really great, and he's supposed to be dropping some hot fire today. He was in the studio all last night working on some mixtapes. So I can't wait to hear what he's got coming.
Now, one thing before, he was in Indiana?
He was
What
in
he did?
Indiana.
He did a federal crime?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I'm
'Cause I'm
not-
trying to think how he got shipped from Georgia to Indiana.
Well, that's what they said.
Oh, he must have did some federal. Okay.
Now,
go ahead.
word on the street was he was supposed to come out in September, but I guess he's out now. Now, I heard that he'll be in a halfway house until September, and then, he's on, which I guess is house arrest. So, yeah, I did hear he'll be on house arrest and then
Oh, because I was
probation.
going to say, what is a halfway house? Is that like a part mobile home, part
You're like not allowed
established
to
structure?
be. You're not allowed to
Right.
be out with the living.
No, I trust me.
Oh.
I know exactly
you've
what
got
it
some
is. but,
experience there. Some behind the scenes experience.
Allegedly.
Also, everyone's kind of got their panties in a bunch because Meek Mill supposedly threw more shots at Drake in his All the Way Up remix. He said that views from the projects, inward, I'm the prospect. When the internet tells me I'm crucified, they were in the streets like, inward, you super live. And to me, it's not really a shot because Drake kind of said some things about Meek in views. And I feel like because the beef was just so big last summer, it's kind of impossible that they won't bring it up in future raps. And also, when you're rapping, it requires a lot of confidence. So what better way to talk about your confidence than talk about how you didn't get bodied in a rap beef? So,
And in rap beef, do we always have to preface the word beef with rap? Because honestly, people who are beefing in the streets for real don't host Saturday Night Live. You know what I mean?
Right.
People who are beefing in the streets for real don't go, oh, I'm going to get you, hand me a microphone. And I laugh when they say beef because a lot of these guys have made themselves popular and marketable off of their street credibility. And once you get to a certain level in the entertainment business, your street credibility is not verifiably credible
if
anymore.
you're doing it correctly, if
I mean,
you're actually trying to advance.
Now Gucci, he's keeping his street cred because, he's shooting people, he's going to prison, he's getting out with a six-pack burr. And but Drake and Meek Mill, I think they should let it go.
I think so too.
And I must say, I don't really know a lot of Meek Mill music, but this whole
Neither does his record company.
His whole beef was over when Drake said, "I'm on my world tour, and you're on."
Now, is that your world tour or your girl tour?
Well, it went back a little further than that
Then it was over. He was supposed to just pack up his mic
and let it go.
and let it go.
But he's like a little crackhead. He just-
Especially when
He pops right back
especially
up.
when he couldn't go, it's my world tour. If he's on his girl tour, it's my girl tour. So what? I got 16 more bars. How do you respond to that?
I got an extra song in, extra verse.
Right. I came out first.
I told you it was going to be ratchet out there. We all on the ratchet news of the day. Come on, Chinway, give me
Now,
some
the
more.
other night, T.I. was set to perform at Irving Plaza in New York City, but there was a fight that occurred in the VIP in the green room, and then it transpired into actual gunshots, and there were 4 people involved. Troy Ave, his leg, he's a rapper. He was shot by a bullet, but he was really grazed, so not completely shot. But his bodyguard, Ronald Banger McFatter, was actually shot and killed, unfortunately. And then there was another lady, a young woman, who was shot in the leg. So But the crazy part is what the New York Police Commissioner Bill Bratton actually had to say about the incident.
We have a pretty good idea of what happened. The crazy world of the so-called rap artists, who are basically thugs that basically celebrate the violence they've lived all their lives. And unfortunately, that violence oftentimes manifests itself during their performances. And that's exactly what happened last evening.
So basically, if you didn't really catch what he said that the crazy world of the so-called rap artists who celebrate this criminal lifestyle, they bring this upon themselves. And then he later talked about Bobby Shmurda and his constituents and how he's got them all locked up. And I just didn't like his tone, to be quite honest. I mean,
you don't believe they bring it upon themselves?
Well, we don't know what happened.
Well,
but they perpetuate violence. Everything they talk about is let's be violent, let's do drugs, let's get a girl on a pole.
And is it that you didn't like what was said, or you didn't like who said it?
I didn't like what was said at all. I didn't know anything about Bill Bratton until the other day.
And when I said who said it, in that when a white person makes a critique about African American culture or ethnic culture, it is seen as derogatory. But everything he said is true. You can listen to the music and hear that they are celebrating the violence that they say they come from. Once again, we were just talking about the street cred. You're saying that you came from these circumstances. Most people who live in those circumstances try and get themselves and their families out. These guys have made tons of money, are living now in far nicer, more secure neighborhoods, and they're bringing all of that mentality, all of that activity, that atmosphere with them.
But what do you do when people are chasing them, or supposedly chasing them, or trying to...
Well, I think what Big Kenny is saying, and what I'm saying as well, is that because I am out here basically like a storm, spitting all this, I want to kill you, I'm better than you, look at what I have. You bring eyes, you bring comments of other people. If you just made your money and went home, who would want to shoot you for real? You're less likely to be in a beef, in a club getting shot, because you probably don't even go to that club anymore. Because you heard there was a shooting, so okay, I X'd that off my list. So some of that, I live this life. I want this to happen no matter where I go. I'm going to act like I haven't been blessed to another life. I think it's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, I know T.I. has a reality show, T.I. and Tiny, The Family Hustle, where it's all about capitalizing and highlighting their family life with their children. Now, in none of that is there any violence, but in all of his music, all he talks about is selling drugs and pulling guns and being real in the streets. So which one is the real T.I. and which one do I approach in the club? Do I come up and we show pictures of our kids, or do I come up on some, pulling my piece?
It's a great point. I can't even argue with that one.
I hope T.I. has nothing to do with this, because I imagine he's still on probation.
Right. He didn't have anything to do with it. But what the mayor said is, or what the city commissioner said is true.
404-603-8770. We'll be back with more of the Sports Joc Show right after this.
More of the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. You know, I help people solve difficult problems every day, but one problem has me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. Luckily, the Feeding America network of local food banks collects surplus food, giving hope to hungry children and their families. But they need your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. Let's go inside the mind of a 10-year-old.
I should have worn those earrings today. I like those earrings. Gabby has those awesome earrings. I need to ask her where she got those, but that's just what she would want me to do. I'll have Michaela ask her for me.
Buckle up, Sarah.
Yeah, but then Michaela will be like, why don't you just ask her yourself? That's just like Michaela.
Sarah, buckle up.
Michaela's such a great name. I wish I was called Michaela. There's like a dozen Sarahs in my class.
Hey, we're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. I forget sometimes because my brain is like busy, you know? I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
Sometimes it can be tough to get through to your kids, but it's not impossible. Always make sure they're wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Remember, you have the keys, you have the power. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
This is why you work so hard to pay the mortgage. Because home is more than 4 walls and a roof. It's that porch swing and a summer evening. It's everybody over for Sunday dinner and your family sleeping in their own beds at night. Making Home Affordable is a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov.
Good night, Mama.
This is why. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
My savings are gone.
Okay, where were they last?
Here, right before I spent them on that vacation to Aruba.
Weird. Not weird. Not saving now means no money later. For free ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Players Lounge. You have been given full access to the Players Lounge on the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show, 404-603-8770. Big Kenny, the funny man himself, Chinwei. We left off. You had one more report on Lamar Odom. Is
right.
he back in the prostitute house? I was about to say that.
He
other
might
word.
be, actually, after this one. Now, according to TMZ, Lamar Odom has been served with the divorce papers by his estranged/beloved ex-wife, or now about to be ex-wife, Khloe Kardashian, because allegedly she wants to start a family. And she can't do that with Lamar. Now, several weeks ago, this is what I thought was interesting. Khloe wrote on an Instagram post, "Stop shattering your own heart by trying to make a relationship, whether it be friend, family, or partner, work that clearly isn't meant to work. We have to stop trying to
Reconcile?
There
you go.
Sorry. People's colors.
College graduate 2016.
We have to learn to believe that the love that we aren't given. And I thought that was very interesting, and it kind of reminds me of what Rihanna said about Chris Brown in the Vanity Fair interview last year. She said that she was 100% sure that she could change Chris, and she said she was very protective of him and felt like people did not understand him. But then she came to the realization that she was the enemy because she was reminding him constantly of his ailments and his mistakes and perpetuating a part of him that wasn't necessarily good for himself. So maybe that's where Khloe is also in her relationship with Lamar.
Well, Chinwei, I must tell you that there's like 7 billion people on the planet. I would imagine that 4 billion of them are women. All 4 billion of those women think they can change men. It's a genetic thing that y'all have in you that you think that for some reason, now I don't know whether this is a story from the beginning of time, but all of you think that you can take a man.
They've actually
change.
Scientifically proven what it is. It's a helix called the change a man gene. And
really?
It's in female DNA.
Go ahead, Vicky.
But let me ask you, why is Khloe playing the victim in this? She's married to Lamar, has been through all of the trials and tribulations, his near-death experience and all of that. But in all of that time, she's been married to him. She's dated James Harden from the NBA.
French Montana.
She's dated French Montana. She's been linked to 1 or 2 other celebrity romances. And so how is it that she's talking about the love that she's not getting back. The love that she's got for him, she's spreading around quite a bit.
Well, I mean, of course we're going to get her opinion because she's spoken out about it. But, I mean, maybe at some point she did feel like the victim in that relationship, where she felt like, because of all the immediate media attention that she brought on herself, that he owes her something. He owes her that time back.
How could he speak out with tubes down his throat? You know what I mean? And see, this is the thing. Everyone knows that the Kardashians are skilled at media manipulation.
Right.
So I think that this is just another grab for media attention, because generally divorces are the kinds of things that, having been through a divorce in my life, it's the kind of thing that is very emotional, very tumultuous for the entire family, and a painful experience. It's not the kind of thing that you announce, okay, today I'm going to go serve these divorce papers. Usually the people who break that story are the people who, through Freedom of Information Acts, go and troll the divorce filings, and if they find a name that they recognize, then they report it, and that's the people like the TMZs. But the Kardashians, they put all this stuff out themselves.
Yeah, they do.
And let me ask you this, Chinwe, as a young lady, why do the Kardashians, why do young women admire the Kardashians when their only talent is laying on their back?
And not doing yoga either. Why
would I don't understand.
They're doing doggy style though.
Why the admiration is so high?
I don't get it either.
All women do is sleep around. This Big Kenny, in one breath, named about 5 guys that just this month have been linked.
And she's still married now.
And she's still married.
Keeping in mind that she's still married. Now, if Lamar Odom was out in public with as many women as she's been out in public with, linked romantically with, not just out having dinner with, he would be vilified. They would be saying, how dare
but would he?
Yes, he
by women, he definitely would.
Okay.
He's a cheater, and they would try and go to court and sue him for, or get, label him as being guilty of infidelity, which is in court, and you're getting a divorce, generally going to get you more money in some sort of settlement. They haven't put that on Kourtney Kardashian at all. And
Chloe.
She's guilty. Chloe, same.
They're all
the same.
They're one big conglomerate.
They're one.
They're like
person.
one lover removed. One of them at 40, the other one at 39, the other one at 38.
I don't know why there's such high regard among young ladies. I don't give them high regard because they're not talented at all. And they've capitalized, especially Kylie, off of, the things that African-American women pride themselves on. And that's something that I really don't appreciate and I can't get with. They just I think that's the day and age that we're in. It's all about money isn't the root of all evil anymore. I saw this quote also. It's about attention. So it's all about who can get the most attention, who can get the most Instagram followers, who can get the most Twitter followers, who can have the biggest following. And you do whatever it takes to get that attention so that you can get on reality TV and all of these things. And that's the measure of fame, and that's the measure of importance and talent.
So low self-esteem is your answer.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
Because I think that's it.
How much bigger can you make your butt?
It sums it up, is that women of low self-esteem look at these women and say, if I could get a big butt, maybe I'm a stripper. Well, if I can just market myself enough, if I could display myself enough on social media, and now there used to be a time when they had they call them professionals back in the day, or ladies of the evening.
That's cute.
And people thought that they were of low moral caliber, but at least these women,
that Jezebel,
right? At least they were getting paid and earning a living. These women, most of them, are just getting likes. The women who follow the Kylie Jenners aren't making the kind of money Kylie Jenner is making for exploiting themselves on Instagram. There are a lot of women on Instagram and these other social media platforms. All they get is the little heart button tap twice, and now you consider yourself some sort of celebrity, and people envy that. And I think it's a little bit misguided, and it makes me wonder where we're going with our culture right now.
It's scary.
Yeah.
And I like what you said about exploiting yourself, because that's exactly what it is.
Right.
Well, you stay away from that Instagram model stuff.
I definitely do. That's why my followers are where they are now.
We got enough of that.
On a quick note before we go, I was reading a report that Prince it had been 6 hours by the time they found his body. And I'm trying to figure out, was like people on holiday? How can I be in an elevator for 6 hours and no one find me at a public building?
I'm sure there's a time when they have to clock out and go home. You know what I'm saying? For instance, I need someone to follow me 24 hours a day. I'm sure that he was at home. So in Paisley Park, he probably had his private moments. And from what I understand, generally people who are drug abusers, substance abusers, want to distance themselves from other people as to not fall under that scrutiny of, hey, man, what are you doing? And from some of the rumored reports, people were already concerned about him to the point where they were reaching out to other people. So he was probably trying to distance himself. But that you think they would at least hear that elevator, ding, ding, the door is stuck. Why is that elevator? Why is that elevator beeping? Right. Why we can't get this elevator?
We'll be back. More of the Sports Joc Show. 404-603-8770.
More of the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Dad? Son, come home with me.
Visit the secret panda village?
Sleep like a panda. Eat like a panda.
I knew I wasn't eating up to my potential. It's not always easy being a dad, but it's always worth it.
Let me teach you how to belly golf.
Awesome! Take time to be a dad today.
Thanks, Dad.
Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hey, Russell Wilson here, and I know how important exercise is.
It's essential. It's essential.
With Play 60, United Way and the NFL are helping kids stay active and play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids, healthy kids.
But what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60 because great things happen when we live united.
Donate.
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy, sitting here with the funny man, Big Kenny and Chinwei.
Hello.
In 2015, record-breaking numbers. 98 people were bitten by sharks around the world. Jaws is back. 6 of those people passed away. 98 total was bitten. There are reports that the new record was set because of warmer waters, and also that more and more people are moving to ocean fronts. Cities that are on ocean fronts, more and more populated now.
98. Do you think at the Shark Attack conference, all the sharks are like, look, we almost reached our goal of 100. Next year, I'm going to need you guys to try a lot harder. Go to places where they're moving towards the coast.
And find Nemo.
And do something. We have to do something. I can't believe that when they have shark attacks, people always say that it's a tragic and unnatural occurrence. You are in the ocean, which is where the sharks gather.
Yeah,
that's where they live.
You have to go to their
They
house.
eat stuff in the ocean. You're in the ocean. That's where that's like going to a fast food restaurant for them. They look for moving stuff and they eat it. So that's not unnatural. What would be unnatural is if there was a knock at the studio door and we opened it up and it was a shark like, y'all didn't know I was coming today. That would be unnatural. That would be tragic.
So basically you're saying as long as I don't go to the ocean, I would never get bitten by a shark.
There are a lot of things that can happen, a lot of accidents, a lot of tragedies that can happen. But one thing I know I can prevent is shark attack. Now, going into the ocean is one way to prevent it.
Right.
When people say, hey, that's a shark, staying away from that shark is another way to prevent being attacked by a shark. They have these warnings, sharks spotted, and people go, okay.
They still want a close look at it.
And they go swing.
Warning signs aren't good enough.
Right.
No, human curiosity is something.
And for 98 people to be attacked and only 6 to have been fatal, I think that the sharks are slacking off a bit. Remember when, used to be a time they would kill 6 people with one attack. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just saying.
The sharks are getting weak.
They saw.
Right. The shark.
Mama's making them soft.
Too busy trying to take a selfie. Attacking off Panama City.
Geo-target.
Fox is bringing a drama to TV this year called Pitch. It's about the first female Major League Baseball player. I don't understand who pitched this show. I don't see it making it past Christmas. And I don't know why everybody's always so interested in a woman participating in a male. You never see the show where the man is on the WN. Well, they're all
Brittany Griner. She like, yes, you do. You done seen that. That's me.
You gonna act like you don't see me?
Right.
You don't see me?
Shamika Holmes-Claw is like, I was the first one. Now, I would like to ask the uninformed question in that they already got a female in Major League Baseball?
No, they're just making a show about
a woman attempting to. Right. And I tell you, the way it got the green light is the same people that pitched the Super Bowl for Minnesota. got to go in like this guy's real good. He got the Super Bowl moved to Minnesota. Like, give him, let him speak.
Picture this, I got a woman.
Right. All right, stay with me now. It's Major League Baseball.
2 for 2 here.
And there's a woman in the dugout, but she's in a uniform, and everybody's like, uniform. But look. Prince is dead and they didn't find him for 6 hours. Okay, let's listen.
Cam Newton, All In with Cam, starts June 3rd. So this week you'll be able to catch Cam Newton in his Nickelodeon show. It starts at 8 p.m. Kids are paired with mentors to help them achieve their dreams. So Dominic Dawes, David Copperfield, and different stars are being paired up. I guess Cam will be hosting the show and taking the kids to meet these special people to help them in their careers.
Nobody relevant could be found to help mentor David Copperfield. Here, I'm going to show you how to make hair disappear. Remove my toupee. Dominic Dawes hasn't been in Olympic sports since
20 years.
In 20 years, right? And she's just trying to flip for a check, I suppose.
I guess.
And Cam Newton, everybody knows he's a great role model for children.
And you think with Cam, he would have done, that's my thing. It would have been more of like Chris Angel for, say, Magic. What's the little girl that won the Olympics?
Gabby Douglas.
Some people
younger,
more
his
recent.
age.
Right.
Then, Cam Newton didn't know who David Copperfield was.
He didn't put that together. He definitely was just like, all right, what do I sign?
Are they worried about the effect that maybe some of these younger celebrities will have? Because I'm just waiting on the episode with Cam Newton getting Gucci Mane to mentor something. Brr, what you need to do if you're going to be the rap guy is brr.
First, you've got to get an ice cream on your face.
The Black Panther, one of Marvel's next film, is in Atlanta filming. Chadwick Boseman will be the Black Panther. If you haven't seen the most recent Captain American movie, he plays the part of Black Panther in it. For you people that don't know, Black Panther is not an original comic book hero. He's been in there about 30 years. And you have to get a lot of this Marvel and even DC stuff, you really have to read comic books. Just like in certain movies, if you didn't read the book, like what was the franchise with the vampires breaking down? Twilight. For people of my age who didn't read the book, some things you leave with questions, whereas people in Chinwei's age who read the book really understood why such and such was happening. If you're not a big comic book reader at some point, then you're not going to get it.
I mean, come on, seriously, Sports Joc. Who doesn't read comic books? I'm saying everybody should know the mythology behind the Black Panther.
Oh, my goodness.
He was an African prince, and he's super, super rich. He's got like $150 billion net worth. And then he comes and he fights crime. Jeez.
He's from Wakanda.
Of course he's from Wakanda. Who doesn't know that? That's something everybody knows.
I went to see the Batman vs. Superman movie. First of all, it was like 4 hours long. Second, I was confused until, Ray says 3 hours. It was 3.5 hours long. I didn't know what was going on until they actually fought in Gotham City. The entire movie, I was confused. And like you said about reading the comics, you have to read the comics or do research because you will be lost and not having a great time.
That's why we don't let girls go to the movies.
I'm not allowed to.
You never take a girl to a superhero movie.
Never. I've said that forever.
Everybody knows that, Sports Joc.
Do never take your wife or girlfriend to superhero movies.
But I love Iron Man. I love the Avengers.
I don't have time to explain where Krypton was and why Black Man.
And she says Iron Man and the Avengers, not knowing that they're in the same superhero group. Or like, this is ridiculous.
I meant the movies.
Where is Iron Man? This is a DC comic. They don't talk about Iron Man as Marvel. There's two franchises.
Okay.
There's Marvel.
Okay.
And then there's DC.
Okay.
Iron Man is in
DC.
No, Marvel. Superman is in
DC.
Why is she even here? She doesn't know anything. This is ridiculous.
And I don't have time to explain this while the movie is going on.
Well.
So the Black Panther here filming in Atlanta. Get ready. Black Panther is next up.
They had an open casting call
for Black Panther.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
and I'm just imagining that. It's probably going to be, could you look more native? That kind of thing. Could you look more native? Let's see what you look like with a headdress. He's from Wakanda.
He is from Wakanda.
Is that supposed to be like a country in Africa, quote unquote?
It's like...
well, they don't even really consider themselves from Africa. Get it? South Africa.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, you can't really see Wakanda. It's kind of hidden from everyone. It's a mythical place.
Hidden from the white man.
Floyd Mayweather keeps talking about fighting Conor McGregor. No, that's not going to happen. And if it does, don't watch it because it's all a money match. It has nothing to do with a MMA fighter and Floyd Mayweather. It would just be purely money making. Bill Cosby will face trial for his allegations. He's out on $1 million bond, but he says that he will go to trial and he will win. So.
Well, Sports Joc, I just would like to
I was waiting on that.
Anybody who would believe that I would do something like that is purely ludicrous. Now, I was talking to my wife, Camille.
You and Camille still talk?
Well, Camille lives in one of my many properties, and because I'm still paying the bills, every now and then she has to call.
Okay.
How do you think this turn out?
I think I'm going to put my just hopes and dreams that he's acquitted. I think he should, because he's in that case where he had signed off that this was already settled. And the judge went and said, no, you can't go to trial for this. So I think under that pretense, he probably will get off. He's 78 years old, and hopefully Huxtable, Fat Albert, Jello Pudding Pop won't be in jail the rest of his life.
78 years old. I'm saying if he's guilty of those crimes, he should be punished. But at 78, I'm kind of proud of him for just still having the urge. You know what I mean? Just,
Excuse me, young lady, would you like a drink and possibly prescription narcotic?
Chinwe, Big Kenny, we will be wrong if we go off and not say our prayers and condolences and love goes out to all our servicemen around the country. I know Big Kenny was in the service. I always fashioned myself as a Navy SEAL out on the football field without the gun and the training and the swimming ability. But something like that, though, you know. Like,
and the foreign conflict.
But
and the taking the oath. Yeah, but, you know.
Trust me, since 9/11, I think at least my generation has really understood and appreciate that part of our country more and more. Before that, I really saw we didn't really take it serious. We talked about it, bashed it, never really understanding that there are people that give their lives in a way that most people nowadays would not even try. Most people won't even hold a door for you.
Unless you got them Instagram likes.
Instagram likes, but we like to say thank you for your sacrifices that you do every day. And a lot, as we know, we don't even see. Big Kenny.
Just the same thing, having served proudly in the Marine Corps, I hear a lot of people hear the phrase freedom is not free, and it definitely isn't. And the sacrifices go farther than just the people that are actually in the foreign conflicts risking their lives every day. You have families that are making do without integral parts of their family. So for the servicemen and women out there, making it possible for me to be here in the studio saying, oh my gosh, Sports Joc, I can't believe this. Thank you so much, because without you, we wouldn't be here.
We are in the ocean.
The truth is, he will throw your ass in the ocean. It's time to wrap things up on the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
When you hear the sounds of the ocean, give the Sports Joc just a minute to vent about last week. Back in 2005, tragedy here in Atlanta happened. People got killed, all from one gentleman named Brian Nichols. They have gone on to make a movie about Brian Nichols that I just would never watch because I don't like murderers per se. But Brian Nichols made his first interview last week on Channel 2, and he says that he is sorry. Nobody smoked more weed than I did at the time of my arrest. That is what he said. He did not use the word marijuana. I'm just reading what he said in the article. He used, what do you want to call it? Reggie? Would that be better?
Reggie don't do that.
And Reggie made him delusional and said that Satan was going to get him. And that's why he killed those 4 people on that alleged day. Why is Brian Nichols still alive is why I want to talk about this. Kill Brian Nichols. Kill him. Let him go. I don't want to hear a report about him. So I'm throwing Channel 2 News in the ocean. Not Brian Nichols for even reporting on a mass murderer. For Big Kenny, the funny man himself, our new star in the show, Chinwe, we'll talk about the red hair a little later. That and much more coming up on the Sports Joc Show this week. Peace.